there's one, there's another one, there's one, there's another one, and there is another one. Look how many EVs there are. Yes, there are no fewer than 81,000 electric cars registered on New Zealand roads. Kiwis love them because, despite what your crazy uncle on Facebook may have said, they are actually safer, cleaner, cheaper to operate, and better for you than a combustion car. There's only one problem: they're typically really expensive. Or are they? That's the point of today's video. Join me as we go bargain hunting to find the best used EVs you can buy in New Zealand today. But before you rush out and buy the first electric car you find, there's 3 important things to keep in mind. Number 1, be honest with what your range needs really are. There's no point blowing your budget on a long-range electric car if all you're going to do is take your kids to school. In the same way you wouldn't rush out and buy a high-performance massive Ford Ranger just to get to the office in Auckland City. Not a good example, people do that. You wouldn't buy a scuba suit to go for a 5-minute dip in the ocean. By buying the right car for your range needs could save you thousands of dollars. Point number 2, make sure you've got a place to charge your car when you get home. Now, 85% of all Kiwi EV drivers charge at home because that's where the savings are. Like if you're using the EcoSaver plan from Ecotricity, which is New Zealand's only certified climate-positive electricity provider, then a full charge on this car will cost about $12 or so. $12 for 400 kilometers of clean emission-free driving. The third thing to keep in mind is to make sure you get a car with a healthy battery. Sounds obvious, right? But any good dealer will tell you what the state of health of the battery is. So obviously, try and get a car with a high state of health. If you can get something with 85% or 90% state of health, you're winning. But now it's time to go car hunting, and car number 1 is coming up now. And the first one is right behind me. This here is the MG ZSEV. It is a crossover with plenty of room. Okay, let's talk price and range of this bad boy. This will set you back 24 grand. 24 grand for a 3-year-old car. Range, well, when it was new, it did 263 k's per charge. At least that's the official WLTP range. But as we all know, WLTP range, take 15% off that range, and that's your real world Kiwi range. Plus, if you add a little battery degradation, you're probably looking at about 200 k's per charge for this car, which is still about 8 times more than the average Aucklander does. Oh, it is a comfortable car though, isn't it? Oh, it's electronic everything. It's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's got air conditioning, climate control, a big touchscreen display and everything. It's got regenerative braking. It is super safe. It's got a 5-star safety rating. 90% it's scored with adult occupants, 80% with kids. It's got everything you want. There's a reasonable amount of room in the back, although it's not huge. The boot, again, is reasonable, but not huge. If you want an ultimate driving experience, this may not be the car for you. Well, it can be best described as handling like a waterbed, but with cup holders. But for around town running, to drive this day to day, it just works. Imagine having a car where you never have to go to the gas station again. This is it. You're going to be paying basically nothing in maintenance from here on. This one looks pretty spotless. The reason I'm looking underneath this car is that the only complaints I've heard about these is some early adopters have complained of rust spots appearing. So if you're going to buy one of these, or particular this one, make sure you find one that hasn't been parked in the sea. Battery health, however, I don't know the state of health for this. I'll go and ask inside if they've got it. But they can easily plug this car into their diagnostic equipment and tell you what the state of health is. For this, I would expect it to be at least 90%, this battery. If, for example, you come across one of these and the battery is like 80% state of health, I'd walk away. The next car I want to show you, it's a bit of a wild card. Bear with me, you may be surprised to hear this, but not every car on this list has to be super serious, and I think you'll agree. This BMW i3, well, it's different. Yes, it's a BMW i3, and let's talk price and range. First of all, this thing is now available for 27.5 grand, so yeah, it's not the cheapest EV in the list, but it is a very good looking car, and it's got a useful range as well. More than 200 k's on one charge. Partly because this is the one with the big battery. It's got a 44 kilowatt hour battery pack. There are 2 other options you can get. There's a 33 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is the previous generation. Then the first generation is a 22 kilowatt hour battery pack, but this is the one with the biggest battery. This is the one that'll give you a useful city range. Now there's a few reasons why I think you should consider this as perhaps your next electric car, and that's because, okay, it's shallow, but bear with me. It looks good. It's a really good looking car. It's also really easy to navigate in the city because, I mean, it's city sized. It's also a very zippy car. BMW decided not to follow all the other EVs of the time and make it slow and boring. They made this thing pretty peppy. These things move. Plus, I mean, look at the design. The interior design is great, it's very cool. The piece of resistance, however, one thing that not many people know about these cars is that frame is carbon fiber, which makes this thing a very light, more or less, relatively, electric car. The only downside, and there are some downsides to this car, I know I've been waxing lyrical about it, there are some downsides. First of all, that carbon fiber frame, if you get in a proper accident and the frame buckles or snaps, cars are right off, it's useless. But then again, it's the same with every car now. If you bend the frame, they're generally written off. The next problem I want to point out is that it's got not much legroom, but this brings me to the coolest feature of this car, I reckon. Look at those doors. Those are none other than suicide doors. Actually, are we allowed to call them that now? Self-harmed? Gosh, no, can't call them that. All right, let's just move on to the next segment. And this is the next segment. This is the point I wanted to bring us. There's not a lot of room in the back here. It's not terrible, but it's not great. You're in a small car, and if the driver has their seat far back, then yeah, your knees are going to be pressing it. Also, to get out, as cool as the suicide doors are, it could be a bit of a hassle to get in and out of. But that's pretty much it. And if you can live with those things, then the car is a real fun thing to own. I mean, look at the textiles, the textures, the fabrics. It was cutting edge of its time, and it's still a very modern car, especially in an era where cars are getting really bland. This is fun. I know it may not be the most sensible choice out of the 5, but not every car has to be sensible. Some of you watching this, you actually have taste and style and your own individuality, in which case, this car might be the one for you. But there's another one on the list. The next car I want to tell you about is a lot like this one I'm in right now, the Tesla Model 3, except this one's a little special. It's just as sleek, but as you can see, it is bright ruby red, and it's actually the dual motor long range version when new did 560 k's on one charge, and this one's on sale at 34 grand. And to save money, carbon emissions and time, I'm going to cross over virtually to Jordan from EV City in Christchurch. He's going to tell you a little bit about this car.
Is that you, God? It's me, Jordan. Well, even if I can't find God through the lovely glass sunroof, we can still have a great time here in the Model 3 Long Range. Really one of the most fantastic cars made. The Model 3 Long Range has the dual motor all-wheel drive, 0 to 100 in about 4 seconds. It's pretty good. It's got a very cute steering wheel. Very small, very round, very cute steering wheel. Easy to drive, easy to handle. It's wonderful. It has stalks on these ones still. They haven't taken the stalks away yet. The screen's fantastic. The maps are amazing on the Tesla app's fantastic. They're just a great car.
Thank you, Jordan. I completely agree about the infotainment system in this car. It is brilliant. It's second to none. Everything from its native Google Maps to being able to play games, to being able to draw pictures, surf the internet, watch YouTube. You can do it all on Tesla's system. It's very smart. They also don't suffer so much from battery degradation. Tesla did something right with the chemistry they used in these batteries, and unlike the Nissan Leaf, failures in batteries in Teslas can happen. They are very rare, so have a little peace of mind when buying one. And of course they charge quickly as well. This base model that I'm sitting in charges at 170 kilowatts top speed. The high performance one down in Christchurch, that is 250 kilowatts top speed. So the difference is, in this, about 28 minutes from 10 to 80%, and that, about 22 minutes from 10 to 80%. It all just means that you can get to a rapid charger, plug in, and then boom, suddenly you've got another 400 odd Ks of range in your tank. And it's a practical car too. It's got lots of boot space, lots of room in the back, and it's even got a fartment or front compartment under the hood. It's all very good, but it's not perfect. There are some cons as well. I mean, when the car first came out, it had a claimed range of 560 Ks per charge, but no one was able to quite get that, and it became the subject of a bit of a lawsuit against Tesla for sort of fudging the numbers a little bit. In the real world, in Kiwi conditions, you're probably going to get more like 450 Ks per charge, which is still quite a lot. If you are considering one, then do check out the video I made recently where I run through all the things to look for when buying a used Tesla Model 3. A very comprehensive video, if I'm a little bit biased, if I do say so myself. But if Elon Musk leaves a weird taste in your mouth, then don't worry, the next car I've got in mind might be right up your charging socket. No, that's not what I meant. Well, this is it. This is the all-electric Hyundai Kona. And wait till you hear the price and the range. This has got the big battery, 64 kilowatt hours of capacity, but you can buy it right now for 31 grand. And wait till you hear the Ks, more than 450 Ks in the real world on one charge. You don't need a petrol car when you got this, and wait till you see what you get for your money. Okay, granted, it's not the flashiest car in the world. That's why you're not likely to see Instagram models draping themselves over the bonnet of this Hyundai Kona. But if you're not a car person, this is the car for you. Everything in it is where it should be, and everything in it just works. First thing you'll notice when you get behind the wheel is there's buttons. If you are sick of all the touch screeny stuff in new electric cars, and you'll like this one because everything is buttons. All tactile, all where you expect it to be. It's safe, it's logical. You've got air conditioning, you've got climate control and power steering and automatic handbrake, and it just drives like a normal car. That's one of the biggest selling points. It's one of those cars that you don't have to learn anything new. You just get behind the wheel and drive it, but without burning any expensive petrol or diesel. And that's the thing, this, with its 150 kilowatt electric motor, it goes pretty quick and it costs nothing to run. You just pay for your road user charges like a diesel, but with electric, well, your fuel can be free if you've got your own solar panels on your roof like I do. It's just unlocking, like gliding through the matrix with this car. Does that make sense? And because it's got a 150 kilowatt electric motor driving the front wheels, it is fairly peppy as well. Yes, it's not the most road savvy car in the world. It doesn't handle brilliantly. It's a little soft. It's got that sort of Korean soft suspension. But if you like a comfortable ride, you will like this. In fact, the only thing you really might not like about this car is that there's not a lot of legroom in the back. It's not bad, it's just not huge. That and the charging speed isn't amazing, as I found out when I took this on a full review when this car was new. Plus, the interior, it's duller than a rainy day in Greymouth. A lot of black plastic going on. But if you can live with that, then this is a great car. But I've saved the best for last. Here it comes right now. It is the classic Nissan Leaf. And this is it. This is the Nissan Leaf. Yes, I saved the best for last. This, wait till you hear the price in the range, is good value. It is 16 grand, 15,995 that you can buy right now this car, and it'll still do 200 Ks of driving in the real world. And wait till you see what you get for your money. And look at this. It's got everything you could want. It's got climate control. It's got seated heats in both the driver and the passenger side. Power steering, air conditioning, electric everything, all that for 16 grand. Plus, because it's electric, you never have to pay for maintenance again. You can see why Kiwis love these things. Now, there are some different Nissan Leaf models that you can buy. There's the entry-level 24 kilowatt hour version. Those are getting old now, so the batteries are getting a little bit tired. But if all you need is a little run around that only does 80 Ks or so per charge, which is, well, let's face it, that's perfect for Auckland, then that might be worth considering. The next one up is the 30 kilowatt hour battery version. I would say avoid that one because out of all the batteries that Nissan has put in their cars, the 30 kilowatt hour version degrades faster than the others. This one, however, the 40 kilowatt hour version is the one to go for because you've got peace of mind. It's a safe, comfortable car that's got all the gadgets and it's really efficient and really cheap to run. But before you rush out and buy this car, let me be honest, there are some cons to this car. First of all, it's a bit superficial, but the styling's not radical. It's not exactly a Lamborghini. The handling also is not Lamborghini-like. It could be best described as falling into a vat of hot pudding. It's more designed for comfort than handling, but still, if you're just in the city, this is going to be more than comfortable enough. It's got great sound padding. However, there is one big elephant in the room, and that is with all Nissan Leafs, the batteries are air-cooled, not liquid-cooled. Now, all EVs that you can see today, in fact, all the EVs at this place here, excluding the Nissan Leaf, they are all liquid-cooled. This one is air-cooled, and what that means is that air-cooled batteries don't have a way to dissipate the heat when they get hot. So that does mean the battery life of Nissan Leafs tends to be shorter than, say, in a Tesla or a Hyundai. As long as you're not pushing them too hard, you won't notice that. You'd only notice it if it's a really hot day and you're doing a long road trip where you're rapid charging and rapid charging and rapid charging. And after the second or third rapid charge, you might find that, well, this car's charging slowly. That's because the batteries get hot. So bottom line is, as long as you're doing mostly city driving with the occasional road trip, this is going to sort all your driving needs out. This is the number one out of the 5 cars I've shown you. This is still king. Yes, it has a CHAdeMO charging socket, and CHAdeMO is not the fastest way to charge an electric car, so a DC rapid charge in this would be slower than in a Tesla. You're probably looking at about 45 minutes, whereas in a Tesla, probably more like 25 minutes. But that's only going to be an issue for you if you're racing against the clock doing a long distance driving trip. For everything else, I mean, this has got everything you need. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, then you're probably seriously considering making your next vehicle battery powered, but you probably still got that nagging voice on your shoulder saying,
but what if something does go wrong?
Can it be fixed, or do you have to scrap your car, or maybe send it overseas? Well, that's the point of this next segment. I'm in Taupo right now, about to arrive to Drive EV. They have their own workshop that specialises in fixing electric cars, and they've got one on the hoist right now with a battery problem. This is it. This is the Drive EV workshop. Behind me is Ned. And Ned, what are you working on today?
A Nissan Leaf battery pack.
There you go, I wasn't lying. All right, so what's wrong with this one?
This one's got a couple of low cells.
So is that fixable, and how do you fix it?
Yeah, it sure is. So there's a whole bunch of modules inside here, and some of these have just sort of lost the capacity to do decent Ks. So we replace them with some other used ones of a better health, and then put it back together, and away she goes.
Okay, so how did the owner know? What was the problem that they had that gave them the idea?
Yeah, so especially now in sort of winter time is really when these start sort of showing their age, and when she was driving to work, she would notice that the range would collapse quickly, and she wasn't able to do the same trip as she used to be able to do. So she came over here for a service, and we also inspected the battery and found that there was a few low cells that could really do with replacing to give her the range that she needs to get to work and back every day.
So what about cost? How much does it cost to replace 3 modules on average?
It really depends on what the car is and what the state of health of the battery pack is, but a rule of thumb is it's about $1,000 just for the pleasure of taking it out, opening it up, cleaning it all up, gluing it back together and testing it and balancing it, and then however many modules you need, whether it's one or multiple, depends on the car. So these lower state of health 30s are about $400, maybe $500 for a module. A healthier 40 kilowatt hour Leaf would be like $1,000, $1,500 for a module maybe.
What's happening with these 2 cars?
The Peugeot got a battery replacement. They had a faulty battery. Took it to Peugeot and they said 45 grand please, and then the dealer called me and I said I'll do that for I won't say the number, but much less.
Much less, okay.
And they said yes please and sent me the car.
Okay, sweet.
And the one in front of that, unfortunately his car had some water in the battery. It rusted through one of the lids.
Can we have a look?
Yeah, of course. That's Ron's battery, 85 kilowatt hour Tesla Model S pack.
So what happened?
So they have this lovely fuse on the far side over there.
Yeah, this orange thing here, yep.
Yeah, normally a fuse lives in there and a lovely steel cover goes over that.
Yep.
And unfortunately they collect rubbish and debris and start rusting, and that cover rusts and then it lets water in, and batteries don't like water.
So basically, whatever goes wrong, it can be fixed.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Okay, so there's peace of mind for you.
Yeah, we haven't had a single car since I've been a Drive EV that we haven't been able to fix in-house.
So there you go, that's 5 very different electric cars that you may want to consider when making your next purchase. The next question you may be wondering, I'm saving this to the end, is what about a hybrid? And hybrids for some people can work, but my experience is that not really anymore, because hybrids always used to be that stopgap, because electric cars never used to have very much range. So you'd need a hybrid to get to work and go long distance. Not anymore. Electric cars now do 400, 500, 600 plus Ks per charge with some of the new models. So my advice is not to bother with a hybrid, because you're only kicking the cost can down the road. You've still got all of that belts and pulleys and spark plugs and filters and exhaust repairs and all that stuff. You've still got that with a hybrid. You don't have any of that with an electric car. 93% of all people who get an electric car, they all say the same thing.
But I will never go back to combustion.
Go take one for a test drive, see what you're missing.